Hi, I'm Isis, and I'm going to make for you today a curry tofu scramble. And this is something you can have for breakfast, but it's great for any meal. And what I'm going to be using is some fresh spinach, some zucchini, some yellow onion. I've got celery, tomato, green pepper, spring onion, and mushrooms, and of course some spices. So the first thing that you need to do is I'm going to use cone number 2 on the Saladmaster machine. And I'm just going to take a yellow onion and I'm going to hold it on the front of the machine and turn. And when it gets down to the peel, it's just going to flatten, and a really quick, easy way to chop up onions. So on the same cone, on cone number 2, I'm going to add some zucchini, and I'm going to hold it on the front of the machine. And this is really nice to add vegetables to a dish like this. Tofu adds some texture and also some color. And always remember, put your hand on the inside to get all the vegetables out. All right, so I'm gonna slice up some brown cremini mushrooms. And the mushrooms are great with cone number 4. And remember, all the numbers are on the bottom. And so I'm gonna put the mushrooms in the back, and then I'm just gonna push down the guard. And really fast, quick, easy slicing mushrooms. Today I'm using the 12-inch gourmet skillet, and this is great because it has a lot of capacity for this particular dish. And so first of all, I'm just going to saute the onions and the mushrooms and the zucchini. I'm going to put it into my skillet. And you can use a little oil. I might use about a teaspoon. Just a mild oil that tastes kind of medium heat. So I'll just use a little bit of walnut oil to saute that in. So I'm sauteed the onions and the mushrooms and the zucchini, and they're a little translucent. And now I want to add just some diced green bell pepper. And you could add some red bell pepper for a lot more color. I'm going to use some celery, and with the celery I'm going to use cone number 4, and I'm going to hold it on the outside, and this does a really nice thin slice on the celery. Perfect, beautiful slice. So I'm going to saute that. You are going to get a real thin slice, and it is going to string the celery for you as well. And I'm going to put that into our skillet, and this is going to be all sauteed together. Okay, so the celery and bell pepper, we've got to saute. Now I'm using just sprouted tofu, and it comes water packed, and I just slice around and I drain the water. And what I'm going to do is, you can do it with your hands, or you could just use a fork, and I'm just going to mash it up. I don't want it the shape of the block of tofu, just mash little pieces. And I'm going to add that to our sauteed vegetable mixture. And there we go. So mash it right in. Now tofu really picks up the flavor of spices and vegetables and herbs that you're adding to it. And that's why I'm going to add a lot of curry. And I usually like to use probably about roughly 2 tablespoons of curry powder. You could add a little turmeric for a little more yellow color, but the curry gives it really a nice flavor and also a nice color. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of just granulated onion powder. And as this sautés down and cooks down, I'm going to add the spinach and the onions. So I'm just going to let this saute for a couple more minutes. Okay, so the tofu is all incorporated with our sauteed veggies. And now I just want to finish it by adding a little bit of green onion. That's probably 3 green onions just chopped. I'm going to add about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of spinach. And this is going to wilt down when we're cooking and really marry nice with all the flavors. I'm going to add some tomato. And I'm going to do a little bit of, this was 21 seasoning, So if it's just a dried herb mixture, so you could add a little bit of Mrs. Dash. This has no salt in it. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. And you've got to salt it. You've got to add either salt or Bragg's aminos. I'm just going to use a little bit of tamari. And tamari is just a soy sauce and it's wheat-free. So I'm going to add a little bit of tamari, probably 3 tablespoons. All right, so now what I want to do is just let this cook down. I'm going to add the lid and we're just going to cook it for probably roughly like 5 minutes. Okay, so I've got it sauteing and I'm just going to stir my spinach and my tomato. And this looks perfect. So you can see the spinach is all wilted down. The tomatoes are slightly cooked, and that's what I'm looking for. Tofu scramble. A quick, easy, healthy breakfast or an anytime meal.